If you have a Chevy Silverado and you want to upgrade those terrible classic slow on, slow off turn signals, this is the only one that I will recommend from here on. This is an all new bulb from Morimoto. It is the Morimoto XB turn signals, and this right here is flicker free. It is truly resistor free, and I'll dive into that in just a second. It can be really tricky with these Chevy Silverados to actually find a bulb that does not hyperflash after a certain period of time. And that's because they can be complicated. Now this right here is no longer going to be an issue when you upgrade. That's because it's got a built-in fan on the top, but it does not ramp down. When LED bulbs that are resistor free ramp down a little bit, there's still not enough resistance to the computers to let it know that it's still okay. They think that it's burnt out, so it's going to blink rapidly. It's the last thing we want. And now you can leave this on for over 30 minutes and you are not gonna have any hyperflash. I've actually left this on for about 45 minutes at one point before this video, and no, I saw no hyperflashing whatsoever. So let me show you how to install it because it's really easy. On the driver's side, we do have to pull the airbox on this side, but it's really easy. Let's install it real quick. Now make your way to the driver's side first. Like I said, it's super easy. It's hard to show the camera from this side and show you what I'm doing, but essentially reach down, you're gonna turn the socket counterclockwise. Feel around for it and you can pull it free and the whole entire socket comes out. This is super easy to replace because now all you gotta do is take this out and put this in. Now, I wanna warn you guys out there, if you've had this on for a while, this incandescent bulb gets hot. It's often the reason why they burn out too. So we're gonna throw this away, but just be careful. Use some gloves if you're going to remove it if it's been on for a while. This right here is the Morimoto XB bulb, like I said, and it can only go in one way. So if for some reason it doesn't work, just take it out, flip this 180 degrees, and put it back into your vehicle. Now take your bulb. The bulb socket size that I'm using in the front of this Silverado is a 7440 bulb, and I am using the color amber because it's a turn signal. It's passing through a yellow lens. We're going to be using a yellow bulb or an amber bulb. So lock this in place, test it to make sure it works, and then follow me to the other side. Now make your way to the passenger side. Like I said, you do have to remove this air box. So get an 8mm socket and an extension with a drill. Let's go and remove the 4 screws that are holding on the top of this air box. Just gonna start on this one here. Be careful not to drop it into the abyss. Use that same 8mm socket to remove this clamp. You don't have to remove it all the way, but just loosen it up. Pull on this red little piece here, and you can pull it free. Now you can pull this back a little bit and remove this piece. Just gonna fold it up right here to expose this, take out your filter. And then this, if it hasn't been taken out before, might be a little bit difficult. All you gotta do is grab it and give it a yank and set it aside. Now on the back side, you'll be able to see this flap. We're gonna lower the flap, turn the bulb counterclockwise, and remove your incandescent bulb. The only thing holding this on are 2 little push tabs. Grab yourself a pry tool and remove those as well. Yours might have 3 of them. Go and remove the 3rd one if you find it up here. Now you can lower this and see your turn signal bulb socket. It's gonna be down here. Remove your bulb, grab your XP turn signal, make sure it locks into place. There you are. That thing is sturdy too. These connections are great. These will not fall out like other bulbs that I've tried on these vehicles. And again, I apologize, you won't see it, but you will be able to feel it when you're doing it yourself. Just make sure it gets seated and then you lock it into place by turning it clockwise. Test it, and then if everything works, put this all back and meet me on the back side of the vehicle. You know, funny story, my first truck was a 2015 Chevy Silverado, and so this brings back a lot of memories when I was upgrading the turn signals. The turn signals back in the day did hyperflash, but they worked for like maybe 15 seconds. So the fact that I can actually run these on hazards for an extended period of time without them hyperflashing is good. Now, as you can see here, this is a red lens. They still use those incandescent bulbs from the factory, so they're a slow on, slow off, and they're not bright at all. But the red lens means that you would want to upgrade that bulb, even if it was originally white, to a red LED, because a red light passes through a red lens much better than a white light passing through a red lens. A white light getting converted to the red light output actually loses brightness. It loses more brightness than a red passing through a red lens. So that's why you would want a red bulb in this case. And because you got 2 on each side, you're going to need to get 2 pair. But that's okay because these do have a 2-year warranty, so we're not going to be worrying about anything. First thing you got to do is drop the tailgate and get yourself a T15 Torx bit. We're going to remove these 2 screws holding this taillight and pull it away. Let's remove the top one first. I cannot even begin to tell you guys how happy I am. I am not about to do soldering of the resistors. If you don't know what that is, it was a mess and I hated it. We're going to remove this bulb and this bulb by turning it counterclockwise and removing it. This is your brake, but it's also your turn signal. Grab your XB red bulb, put it in, do the same thing for the bottom one. And test it to make sure it works. Turn signal. As you can see here, it does work, but if these were alternating, blinking, or they were hyperflashing, just take it out, flip it 180 degrees, and put it back in. They should not be hyperflashing or alternating a current of some sort. Now, we can turn these off before I blind you. And now would be a really good time to upgrade your reverse lights too. Now, I really hate those YouTubers that just try something out and say, hey, this is what's best, please buy it from our website. I don't want it to sound like that, but I do want to let you guys know if you are already back here and you're taking this apart and you want to upgrade your reverse lights, this one right here is a T15 bulb. And if you want the brightest one that's not going to have any issues, the best bulb out there is the GTR Lighting Ultra Series reverse light. Yes, it's expensive, but it's the world's brightest. If you wanted a really good reverse light, that would be the one. I could go test a whole bunch of other reverse light bulbs to show you what it looks like backing up to the wall, but just please take my word for it. We've done this thousands of times. The Ultra Series reverse light bulb is the brightest in this truck. Again, I had this truck before and it was the best. I ran it for years and didn't have any problems. Now, put all this back together and you're good to go. Guys, like I say over and over and over in all the other YouTube videos that we've ever made, we have a ton of different products that we've tested for your vehicle that are actually good. The last thing we want to do is have you guys waste your money on products from eBay, Amazon, or wherever that are just garbage. We don't want any hyperflashing, we don't want any error codes when you're driving around, and that's why we make these videos. If we find a product that's good, we put it at headlightrevolution.com, and we want you guys to see what we found with all of our testing. Put in your year, make, and model, and we'll show you guys everything there.